Hello, I am Jan from Prague, the Czech Republic, and in this video let's explore what to expect from taking photos with the Xiaomi Redmi Note 13 Pro. We'll take a quick look together at about 200 test photos taken in a number of locations from Prague to the countryside. And of course, we will also focus on whether the 200 megapixel sensor really makes sense for everyday use. First, we will summarize the key parameters and then start examining the 200 test photos. But first, an important note. The Xiaomi Redmi Note 13 Pro has three versions: the Pro, Pro Plus and Pro Plus 5G, which I was testing here. But the technical specifications of the camera are the same in these three versions, so I presume the results would be same as well. Let me sum up the key parameters of the lenses and sensors. These pictures are examples of what to expect from the main, it means wide lens and wide sensor. This one has the 200 megapixels and 23 millimeters, which actually means it's relatively wide. Quite often your fingers would just be immediately zooming and it's fine, but do not forget that in fact many of these shots are not the proper optical zoom but digital zoom. Does it matter? Well, it does. It's not a key thing, but you should simply not forget that anytime you zoom digitally, the quality would be slightly lower. Then we have the second lens and second sensor, which is ultra wide. And again, you can see some examples here, and we should note that it has only 8 megapixels. And it obviously means that the quality would not be that exciting. At the same time, it's quite useful, and in good light, you just won't be able to tell the difference. Then we have the third lens. Let's see it here, and this is the smallest one, and it's the macro lens. You actually have to activate the macro mode by hitting this button and opening that menu, and then you can start. And as you can see, the results are quite nice, but it should be noted that the sensor has only 2 megapixels, which actually means that although if you are watching these shots on your mobile, then it's fine. But if you just start studying more details, then you simply see that it's not a really perfect photo. And one more note, of course, you can find here a front camera, and I did not test it really properly for that review because I'm not using it much, but I can assure you that you like the results. At least my daughters really liked it a lot. But now let's go to the important part. As you can see, we have the option to shoot directly to 200 megapixels. And the question obviously is, does this make sense? Well, let's explore. These are examples of a normal shot and shot taken with that huge resolution of 200 megapixels. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference, obviously, but if we start zooming to the letters, you'll see it very quickly. So that would be, again, the table which is enlarged from the first shot. It's still quite impressive, but if I now show you the results from the 200 megapixels, you can immediately see the difference. You are able to read it. And, well, you may say, I don't really need that too much, and you'll be correct. But this is the example how detailed can the shot be and how many details the camera is actually able to capture. But let's see a much more interesting example. So let's go to the downtown Prague, and this is ultra wide. This would be the normal shot. And if we start zooming to 2, to 4, and to 10, you can see that the results are still quite nice, and we are even able to read the letters on the building over there. Let's see it once more. So we are really very far. This is the ultra wide, and we are zooming. And again, do not forget, this is totally digital zoom, but still, thanks to the 200 megapixels, the results are really good. That would be a great example why the 200 megapixels actually matters. By the way, by a chance, I had Samsung A54 in my pocket, which is a very good camera as well, although it's actually 1 year older than the one I was testing here, so just do not take this comparison too seriously, but still. You can see that if I just zoom with a Samsung A54, you can't read the letters because this camera does not have that huge resolution of the main sensor. So the results would not be that exciting in the zooming. Let's see it once more. This is the result of, well, the mid-range Samsung, and this would be, just to compare it, the same from my iPhone 15 Pro, and you can again see the letters quite clearly. Once more, that would be from the Xiaomi we are testing here. This is Samsung, and this would be iPhone. One more point. I guess you have a lot of shots like this, and you have a great mobile phone and you're angry that you're not able to take well, shots of your dog, for instance. We won't go into details. I just want to tell you the Xiaomi, of course, has also Pro mode. And in the Pro mode, you're able to reduce the risk of your lovely dog being blurred by simply setting your shutter speed to the levels where it would just be able to freeze the movement of your dog or your kid or your bicycle or whatever. And let's jump to the key part of that video, which is just a brief and quick tour through the streets of Prague and the countryside of the Czech Republic. You might recognize that this is Prague, the capital city of my country, and you can see that the results are quite good and I was quite satisfied. Do not pay much attention to a lot of yellow color. It should be there because this is the end of January here in Prague, which was really freezing, but I was lucky to get some sunshine. So just as the sun was setting, everything just turned to that lovely yellow colors. Some more shots from downtown Prague, and just as I mentioned, anytime your fingers just point to zooming, be careful because, to put it simply again, you are using digital zoom, not optical zoom. So the quality would be going down quite quickly regardless of that, well, magical 200 megapixels you have in your pocket as well. So some more examples, some more shots from Prague, and let's go to the river and again test some more things here. So we have already seen this. This is the ultra wide, and we are zooming from the 1, 2, 4 and 10. Again, we have seen this, and we have seen that it still makes sense thanks to the 200 megapixels. But again, in the real life, I would never go to 10. I would just probably would not cross the default 4, which is just here, and it's quite fine. My advice would be play as much as you can with the basic wide sensor, wide lens, which will give you a lot of interesting stuff. And do not forget, once again, that once you start zooming, the quality would be going down. Let's walk further through the downtown Prague and the famous Lennon Wall, which is right here in the middle of a lesser town, Malá Strana. A lot of colors, which is something which any mobile phone would just love. The same here, the old trams in the streets of Prague, and we're lucky we got some sunshine, so Charles Bridge and lesser town, Malá Strana. And these shots are interesting because you can see that the shadows are as they should look, because they are not overblown, they are not artificially lightened up, but still you can feel that there is something in the shadows. And one more shot from that, a little trip through the downtown Prague. This is my favorite spot for a coffee, just on the riverside overlooking the Vltava river and that beautiful, beautiful bench and table and ultra-wide view of the city of Prague. So let's see one more important chapter. And this is the shots taken during the blue hour or simply after the sun sets. That was one of the really very big surprises with this camera, because I did not expect that the results would be so nice. As you might guess, obviously the night photography and well, low light photography is always a tough one. And well, you can see here that if you know the trick of blue hour, it means if you know that in maybe 20 minutes after the sun sets, you can see that the sky is still blue, everything is like blue and yellow. So if you know these things, you are able to get such great results. It lasts maybe 20 minutes, but it's really worth seeing and worth exploring. And again, architecture of the downtown Prague, just after sunsets, and everything is blue. Just one warning, as you might have remember, this is shot with ultra-wide lens, and of course its quality goes down a little bit. So my advice would be, do not overdo it with the ultra-wide. The ultra-wide has only 8 megapixels, so if you just turn on the main lens, main sensor, you immediately have chance for better photos. And one more example of blue hour. And let's go further, let's go back to the river and some more examples of this beautiful city taken just after the sunsets. And this is a really important test because you can see the results are quite nice. Let's go inside and let's see how the mobile would cope with details like this inside, and you can see the colors are nice and it just works as it should. Some more examples of shots taken with macro. As I have already mentioned, if you just see those shots, you might say, well, this is beautiful, it works well. You'll be right, but do not forget, now we are using only 2 megapixels, which is just not enough to produce really good photos. This is just for a mobile viewing. But generally my advice would be use the main sensor for details like here, and generally try to avoid macro mode because it just won't give you amazing shots. My advice would always be try to play with details. That camera will not let you down because in good light, in sunny days, the results are really nice. Very important part, beautiful natural reserve just on the outskirts of Prague called Divoká Šárka. You might have passed it when you're going from the airport. And quite tough test for the camera because it's winter, the light is not good, there is a lot of shadows, and well, still, it's good. I mean, we can't really expect much better results here. In the daylight, a lot of shadows, I'm quite satisfied here as well as here. And one point I'd like to mention is quite important. I have been testing mainly flagships. I'm a photographer and I like testing what mobile world can offer. And there is one important trend which I personally like. The trend is that the cheaper cameras, cheaper mobiles are actually getting much better over the last 2-3 years. So shots like that were really available only to those of us who had the really expensive mobiles. But now, look at this, this is quite good. And again, we are talking about mid-range mobiles, so I'm quite satisfied. Let's go outside and let's go to capture some more light. We went outside of Prague to a little city called Rakovník, and seeing some colors in the sunshine always means that the chances are really good. And by a chance, we happened to visit an exhibition of animals. So here you have some portraits of these beautiful animals, and they are really very nice. And let's go outside and let's do one more test of the zooming ability. So that would be ultra wide, normal 1, 2, 4 and 10. Again, be a little bit careful as I mentioned, but I am standing here and this is just the result when I zoom. I am quite happy with that. So you should be shy a little bit when zooming, but the sensor can help you a lot. Some more shots from countryside. Please do forget that the church is actually going down, but this is just the physics, laws of optics. When you are shooting up, obviously the towers would be falling. And one more castle and beautiful gardens of a city of Manětín in Western Bohemia. And some of the examples of shots you will be taking every day. And this was one of the key missions of this review. I just really wanted to take this camera and walk through ordinary life and see what it does. Some details here or some sunsets over this small town, and I'm quite happy with the results, of course. And let's finish here on that really beautiful mountain called Vladar in Western Bohemia. And this is just amazing landscape, beautiful countryside. And let's go to the one more part, which covers video. One more part, video. Of course, you might be asking about what do I think about the video capabilities of this mobile. And the thing is that I'm really not good in reviewing videos because I do not use it much on mobiles. I use different ways. So the only thing I can do is the thing I'm doing right now, because so as I speak, I am just showing you some examples of the video recordings I have taken with this camera. And again, from my perspective, the results are exactly as they should be for that mid-range camera. So these shots were taken in 4K with 30 frames per second. So thank you so much for your attention. I do hope you have seen some examples and you got some impressions about what to think about that mobile and what to expect from it. I wish you good luck and take care. I am Jan from Prague, the Czech Republic.